For more than 2,500 years, the greatest empires on Earth made the same mistake. They believed they could destroy Persia forever. The armies of Alexander the Great marched across the Iranian plateau. The brutal legions of the Roman Empire tried to dominate the region. Arab armies arrived with a new religion, and the terrifying warriors of Genghis Khan burned entire cities to the ground. Any other civilization would have disappeared, but Persia did something impossible. Instead of disappearing, it absorbed its conquerors. Within a few generations, the invaders were speaking Persian, wearing Persian clothes, and ruling their empires using Persian ideas. So how did one civilization survive thousands of years of invasions? And why did Persia eventually change its name to Iran? To understand this mystery, we need to go back thousands of years. Most people believe civilization began in Mesopotamia or ancient Egypt, but archaeologists discovered something shocking. Ancient cities also existed on the Iranian plateau over 6,000 years ago. Cultures like the Giraft civilization built advanced settlements. Massive structures like the Chokha-Zanbil ziggurat rose from the desert. Powerful kingdoms began to emerge. One of the first was Elam. Its capital city was Susa. Elam became so powerful that it challenged the early kings of Mesopotamia. One of the first international treaties in human history was signed here. Even in ancient times, Iran was already shaping world politics. Around 4,000 years ago, new tribes arrived on the Iranian plateau. They came from the northern steppes of Central Asia. They called themselves Aryans. Their language belonged to the Indo-European family, meaning it was related to the ancestors of English, Greek, Latin, and Spanish. These tribes eventually divided into two powerful groups, the Medes and the Persians. And in these harsh mountains and deserts, they developed something far more powerful than weapons: an idea. Long before Christianity or Islam, a revolutionary religion was born. It was called Zoroastrianism. Its founder was Zoroaster. The religion taught something completely new. The universe was not random. It was a battle between two cosmic forces: the god of truth and light, Ahura Mazda, and the spirit of evil, Angra Mainyu. But the most revolutionary idea was this: time moves forward. History had a beginning, and it would eventually have an end, a final battle between good and evil. This concept later influenced Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. In other words, the way billions of people think about time and history today was shaped by ancient Iran. In 550 BC, a remarkable leader appeared. His name was Cyrus the Great. He united the Medes and Persians and created the Achaemenid Empire, the largest empire the world had ever seen. At its peak, it stretched from Egypt to India. Nearly half of the world's population lived under Persian rule. The empire was ruled from the magnificent capital of Persepolis, but Cyrus ruled differently from other conquerors. He allowed people to keep their religions and cultures and freed the Jewish people from captivity in Babylon. Many historians consider him one of the most tolerant rulers in history.
The rising power of Persia terrified the Greek city-states. Wars broke out between Persia and Greece. These conflicts became famous through stories like the 300 Spartans. But the truth is often misunderstood. Persia remained the dominant superpower. Instead of destroying Greece with armies, the Persians used politics and money. They funded rival Greek cities, turning them against each other. Eventually, the Greeks signed a treaty recognizing Persian authority. But a new threat was rising in the north: a young king from Macedonia. In 330 BC, Alexander the Great invaded Persia. His army defeated the Persians and burned the capital, Persepolis. It seemed the Persian civilization had finally been destroyed. But something strange happened. Alexander began adopting Persian customs. He wore Persian clothing. He married Persian nobles. Even his court began behaving like Persian kings. And after Alexander died, Iranian culture slowly reclaimed the land. New Iranian dynasties rose again. First the Parthians, then the powerful Sassanid Empire. For centuries they fought their greatest rivals, the Roman Empire and later the Byzantine Empire. These wars lasted hundreds of years. Eventually both sides became exhausted, and that weakness opened the door for a new power emerging from the desert. In the 7th century, the armies of the Islamic Caliphate swept across the region. The Sassanid Empire collapsed. Persia became part of the Islamic world. Its ancient religion faded, and new rulers took control. But once again, Persia did not disappear. Instead, Persian culture reshaped the Islamic world. Persian scholars, poets, and administrators became essential to the caliphate. Even many Islamic empires adopted Persian language and traditions. In 1220, the armies of Genghis Khan invaded Iran. Entire cities were destroyed, millions of people died. It seemed the civilization would finally vanish, but history repeated itself. The Mongol rulers eventually adopted Persian culture. They converted to Islam, spoke Persian, and rebuilt Persian cities. Once again, the conquerors became Persian. In the 20th century, a new leader came to power, Reza Shah. For centuries, the Western world called the country Persia, but in 1935 he made a historic decision. The nation would officially be known by its ancient name, Iran, meaning the land of the Aryans. Empires rose and fell, conquerors came and went, but Iran survived them all, because its greatest weapon was never its armies, it was its culture, a culture powerful enough to conquer the conquerors.